We are now going to animate an image to create a motion effect. You're going to animate another transformation to create the appearance of motion. You want the image to begin with the diver's legs and end with his hands. So move the playhead to the end of the jumping clip. So we're going to move this down to the end of that clip. Let's close. I don't worry about that. There. All right, so we're at the end of that clip. And select the clip. Using the Move tool, press Shift as you drag the image down in the document window so the hands are near the top of the canvas, putting the diver in the final position. So holding down Shift because we want it to go straight. Get those hands right there. Click the triangle to the left of the clip title to display the clip's attributes. And click the stopwatch icon for the position attribute. And what that does is it adds a keyframe, which is this yellow diamond under the clip. So you have a keyframe that's added to the end. Move the playhead to the beginning of the clip. Use the Move tool. Press Shift as you drag the image up so the feet are near the bottom. So I'm holding down Shift until I get his feet at the bottom. Photoshop adds a second keyframe under the clip to complete the animation. So you can move the timeline across, showing you what you've done. As you can see, you build animation keyframes in any order. Sometimes, as in this example, it's easier to start from the final look and then work backwards. So close these, click Attributes, and let's click. This is a great time to click File and then Save. Question for you. To move from one keyframe to the next, what do you click? Do you click the right triangle next to the attribute, the left arrow next to the attribute, the up arrow next to the previous keyframe, or the diamond on the timeline? Correct answer, the right triangle next to the attribute. You can also easily add features similar to the pan and zoom effects used in documentaries. We're going to add them to the sunset to bring the video to a dramatic close. So move the playhead to the beginning of the 6th sunset clip. Alright. Click the triangle at the top right hand corner of the clip, and that will display its motion panel. We're going to choose pan and zoom. We're going to choose zoom out. Make sure resize to fill canvas is checked, and then click an empty area of the timeline to close the motion panel. So let's move the playhead across the last clip to preview these dramatic effects. Wow. Wow. Okay. We're now going to add some transitions. We can simply drag and drop to add transitions, such as fading one clip into another. So go to the first frame button. So this button right over here. And that takes you to the beginning. That button right there. Click the transition button, which is right here. Select a transition. See that? Click that. We're going to select crossfade. The duration, we're going to change that to 0.25. That's a quarter of a second. And then we're going to drag the crossfade to where the family 1 and boat two ride meet. So right there. Photoshop adjusts the ends of the clips to apply the transition and adds a white transition icon in the lower left corner of the second clip. So now let's drag this crossfade between each of the others, and you can see where it's talking about down here, these little white things. Crossfade, drag it there. Crossfade, drag it there. Crossfade, drag it there. On the final clip, we're going to drag a fade with black transition. Fade with black, we're going to put that at the end. To make the transition smoother, extend the fade with black transition by dragging its left edge out about 1/3 the total of the clip. So we're going to drag this out to about right there. So now let's play it back and see what it looks like. You can see our transition. Fade to black. Amazing. So, question. Let's first do this. Let's click File and then Save so we don't lose all this wonderful work we've done. So how can you add a pan and zoom effect to your video? Would you click Edit and then Pan and Zoom? Would you select the pan and zoom from the pop-up menu in the motion panel? You can't add pan and zoom effects in Photoshop, or you right-click on the timeline and select Movement, Pan and Zoom. Correct answer. You did this just a few minutes ago. Select Pan and Zoom from the pop-up menu in the motion panel would be the correct answer. We are now going to add some audio. You can add a separate audio track to a video file. In fact, the timeline panel includes an empty audio track by default. You see this down here. There's your empty track. You're going to add an MP3 file to play as a soundtrack for this short video. So if you click the musical note icon in the audio track, that's a musical note right there. Choose Add Audio from the pop-up menu. We're going to go to our Lesson of Lemon, and we want the beach song MP3 file, and then we're going to click Open. The audio file is added to the timeline, but it's much longer than the video. We're going to use the Split at Playhead tool to shorten it. So move this playhead to the end of the sunset clip. With the audio file still selected, your audio file should still be selected, we're going to click the Split at Playhead tool. It looks like little skizzers right there. And you can see that we now have two clips. Select the second audio clip and press Delete. Now the audio file is the same length of the video. We're going to add a fade so that it ends smoothly. So click the small triangle at the right edge of the audio clip to open the audio panel. And we're going to enter 3 seconds for fade in and 5 seconds for fade out. And then click an empty area of the timeline panel to save our work so far and to close the audio panel. So, question. What happens to the length of a sequence when you add a crossfade transition to it? Does the sequence stay the same length? Does the sequence get longer? Does the sequence get shorter? Or does it depend on the frame rate of the sequence? Correct answer, the sequence gets shorter. Great time. Let's click File. Save.